What's up, Pirates? Ray Talks here with Awaken TCG, and today we're going to be going over what I think the OP05 meta is going to look like and some results here from the Olympus Games Winner Box, which happened, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of days ago. So for starters, I want to say, we're going into this OP05 meta with it being solved, you could say, but in reality, there's still a lot of, decks that we haven't seen or a list that we could definitely try. Because the thing is with Asia, when they got this new Sakazuki deck, because like if you remember, the first half of OP05 in Asia was all Ploofy. It was purple Luffy, Anel, and a little Sakazuki, right? Sakazuki was definitely regarded as the third best in my opinion, and from what I saw, tournament wise, right, results wise. After like about a month and a half, 2 months, someone cracked the code on a Sakazuki deck that can literally just take out any card that is placed on board, right? So you play this new deck style with just being able to control board at will. And then now matchups like Purple Luffy are really bad. Nell becomes beatable. So it wasn't until the second half of OPO5 in the East where the Sakazuki deck list just started taking everything by storm, right? It started winning back to back to back tournaments and regarded as the best deck. So now we're going into this meta, OPO5, with this new list, with this fleshed out meta. And so, there's going to be a lot of people still trying to, best this Sakazuki deck. But as of right now, it is still the best and definitely worth trying if you're going to, and definitely worth trying if you're trying to win, right? Especially with nationals coming up. If you don't have the answer to how to counter it, then just go ahead and play it. But let's go ahead and go over some results first. Here there was the winner box tournament at Olympus Games, and so here are the top 16 deck lists. It was actually a Ploofy taking it. Ploofy went 6-0, Bello Betty got second, a Law got third, and a Sakazuki in fourth, right? So this is a smaller tournament. It looks like there was 64 players, which is it's a decent size. It's a decent size for sure, but it's not a regional size level tournament. We're not going to go over any deck lists here, but it's interesting to see that we saw 21 Sakazukis with 5 being in top 16, which makes sense, right? They're the most Sakazukis by far. And the interesting thing is there's only 2 of them in top 8, which is pretty interesting. But regardless, we have a regional and a 3v3 this weekend in Los Angeles. And so it's going to be super exciting to see the first actual tournament and, how it pans out, right? So by far, in my opinion, I think there's going to be the most Sakazukis, as we see here, something similar to this. It's going to be the most Sakazukis out of every leader. And then it's going to be Purple Luffy shortly after. And then I'm thinking Anel over Katakuri. Anel definitely is a deck where not only does your opponent have to play around it, you have to know how to play it really well, right? So this is not a deck like Purple Luffy where you just ramp if you're trying to play a bigger body or trying to play a certain card and just play a big tall vanilla or ramp and play this, right? Purple Luffy's game plan is a lot more easier. People like to compare it to Whitebeard, right? You're just playing your big bodies. On curve, right? So Anel is a lot different. There's so many actions and so many variations of turns that you could do to actually make an impact on the game. And so you really have to know how to play that deck. And as someone that has been playing it for the last month, honestly, over Sakazuki, I've been playing a little Sakazuki, but I've just been enjoying Anel, right? I've been taking Anel to locals and just having a blast with it. There's a lot of different things that you need to know about that deck to actually make it work. But when you do, it is really, really good, right? So it makes sense why there's more Katakuris, because Katakuri's more unga bunga, like just, play your bodies, 10 mom, 10 mom, 10 mom, and it has a better matchup. It probably has a slightly better matchup into Sakazuki than Anel, but Anel is into Sakazuki is still super winnable, right? As far as my testing goes. But Katakuri does have that 10 mom, 10 mom, you just win the game against Sakazuki. So that's what people are probably trying to prefer over the Anel. Personally, overall, I think Anel is better. I think Anel is overall better, especially into these red decks like Bello Betty, Law, probably Purple Luffy, or probably Red Purple Luffy. I don't think I've tested that matchup too much. But regardless, I think we're going to see the most Sakazukis ever, right? I know in Japan and in the East there were a lot, but it's barely, it barely got to that point towards the end. We're getting it from the start. So, you know, we're going to see a lot of Sakazukis, a lot. And I'm telling you right now, this matchup, the mirror, it's like, you know, you win the dice roll, you have a 30% chance higher of winning that match. Like, it's literally that much more percentage for you winning that match. Going second, being able to play brand new on curve, going into a Kuzan or a Borsellino 4-drop on curve, or having the ability to just, if they play a unit, to Hound Blaze, go aggressive. You know, you have so much options going second, and you start things off, right? You start things off, you get an extra draw. It's just, you get so much value, right? Just going second in that matchup. So it's going to be interesting to see. But here we have, you know, that is 10 Luffys and 3 in top 16. And then we have 4 Bello Bettys and 2 of them making it into top 16. Bello Betty is a super sneaky deck. You know, I would definitely recommend you guys go and play the matchup, because this is a matchup where if you do not know it, you will get punished. You know, a lot of the times you just want to swing for free, but there's certain situations where you do not want to swing, because Bello Betty runs so much triggers that if you swing and you're not supposed to and they get a trigger, you're just done. You're cooked. You lose. It's literally like that against this deck. So you definitely have to know when and when not to swing at Bello Betty. Obviously, you learn that by figuring out what the board state is, and if you can swing and they get a trigger and you still know that you can deal with that, you know, that's a turn like, okay, you can swing if they take. If you can't, obviously you don't. But we also have 4 RP laws. We had 3 RP Luffys and then 8 other. I like this. I'm not mad at this breakdown. I think everything is where it should be. We're gonna see there is a online or offline regional in Los Angeles and a 3v3, so we're gonna see a lot of information. And I'm definitely gonna want to revisit this and actually make a tier list. And one last thing I do want to talk about in this video is the fact that we have all of our red cards. We've been starved out of rad memes, out of new gates. Even in the last half of set 4, we were starved out of Dadans, out of Marcos. So there's these cards here that we now have, right? We have these cards in full power. And what I'm predicting that there's going to be a lot of players that are going to want to play red, right? Luffy, maybe even a good amount of just red-green laws. I know that matchup sucks in going into Sakazuki, but we probably will see a good bit. People are going to want to play ace. Like, as we see here, there's an ace in top 16. So there's going to be some of these players that they're going to be on their favorite red leaders, still doing this, you know, going into this meta playing a red deck. So let's see if there's even a Zoro in top 16. So there's no Zoro in top 16, but there's even going to be Zoro players, I believe, and Whitebeard. We're going to have our 4 rad beams, our 4 new gates. We're going to have these red cards at full strength, and our meta was so dominated by red even after these restrictions, and a lot of these players have these comfort picks where, you know, you're playing a red deck. So it's going to be interesting to see if we have, you know, a little bit of red presence you know, in these type of pie charts. But for the most part, it's going to be Sakazuki, yellow, and purple Luffy dominated. Here we have just about 75%. It's about like 70%, 65, 70% of those top 3. So obviously I'm going to count Katakuri and Enel as just one. It's just yellow. But then we have a lot of Pluffy, a lot of Sakazuki. And then over here we have just about, so we had no Enel in top 16, which is very interesting to me. I definitely think if you're a really good Enel player, you could definitely be a killer for sure. But we had, so like, we'll just swap the places of the Katakuri and the Enel. So it's about like 55%, maybe a little more, maybe like 60% of the top 16 as well being those top 3 archetypes. And you know, if the meta is anything other than this, I'll definitely be surprised. I think Sakazuki is definitely going to be the largest portion all the time. It's just way too good, right? It just has so many winning matchups and like one losing matchup, if that. And then it's just the only thing you're gonna have to worry about is the mirror, right? If you can't figure out a strategy on how to win going first in the mirror without your opponent having to completely brick, you're gonna have a rough time, right? So there's a lot of skills you can learn, and a lot of deck a lot of card text that you can implement into Sakazuki to allow you to have a better winning matchup going first in the mirror. But it's really rough. You know, I've had an extensive amount of hours testing it, and going second honestly just gives you the best chances of winning, right? You don't even have to have a perfect hand. Going second just does so much work for you. And then if you run like a 10 cost Kaido, for example, you know, it just gives you that extra edge if you're able to play it safely on a turn you won't die. But regardless, that is going to be this video. I kind of just wanted to come on here and really rant about the OP05 meta. I don't know what I'm playing yet. I've been playing a lot of Enel. I've been playing a lot of Sakazuki, more Enel. I'm having fun with it, but I still have a lot of time, right? We still have over a month, of time to just practice what you want to practice, matchups. And so, I'll definitely figure it out and decide what I'm going to run. But I've been having a blast. I've been having a blast playing OP05, and I just wish there was a couple of tournaments, right? Even like at the end, I understand it is Christmas coming up, New Year's, but like we could have had like one online tournament like a week or 2 weeks before Nats, which would have been fun. But regardless, I'm going to be applying for the online treasure cups in February. Those are up, so make sure to take a look at those. That is going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed some of this ranting and yapping that I was doing. Please don't make an edit on me on Twitter. Anyways, I appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure. One last thing. I was going to drop the Purple Luffy video today. I actually ended up being in the finals with Jim, right? And he beat me. I was on Enel. He was on Purple Luffy. You guys are going to see how the match goes. I just spoiled it. But actually, no, we made a community post saying that we won. So you guys are getting that video tomorrow. It's a banger. It's going to be an amazing video. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. We need some more subscribers, man. We appreciate you guys for watching. We're gonna drop daily content for so much more long. We got like another 150 plus days of just dropping a video every single day. But without further ado, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. You guys have a wonderful day. Peace.